channel. Today we're doing a video I'm super excited for because it's a book haul. It's a collective book haul for all the books that I got in January and February. I feel like I haven't done one of these in a really long time, so I'm super excited. I decided to combine the 2 months because one of my goals for 2025 was to not buy so many books, and then I had very specific parameters for that. And the rules sort of followed a 2-month window where I wasn't going to buy more than 5 books every 2 months. It's January and February. That being said though, I did have loopholes, which resulted in the stack of books that's in front of me. And the loopholes are as follows. My Waterstones, that's not right. I'm looking at a book called Watermoon and made me think of the store. My Fairy Loot and my Lubricate subscription boxes don't count. If somebody sends me a book as a gift, that doesn't count. If I bought the book specifically for a video or just to read that month, that also doesn't count. I'm only counting the ones that I am adding to my physical TBR because I know I'm not going to get them anytime soon, and I'm just buying them because I want them. So that resulted in piles. I have piles in front of me. So we're gonna go over each category and we're gonna see whether or not I stuck to my goal or if I shot it all the way to hell just the first 2 months of the year. So first we're gonna go over the books that I bought for, I planned on reading them. They're there for videos, they're just for a TBR, whatever. Wow, it's really warm at my house. Okay, all right, we're good, it's good. So the first 3 on here are actually for a reading vlog that is already up on my channel if you guys want to go check that out. It was reading popular or most anticipated releases from January. And I was super excited for these. I was like, we're buying them. I'm going to read them within a weekend. Yeah, well. First we have Clever Little Thing. This is supposed to be a psychological thriller about a woman whose daughter starts sort of taking on the personality of her now dead nanny, and she believes that potentially the nanny is possessing her, and she's not really sure. I didn't finish, as you can see from the bookmark. I spoiler for that video if you're going to go back and watch it, but I wasn't really a fan of this. I'm going to try to see if I can push my way through it. I couldn't do it when I was trying to film that video. It was just boring. The mom was just obsessive. It wasn't getting anywhere. I got over 100 pages into it and it wasn't creepy, and I wanted creepy. So yeah, we got rid of that. Then I got Grady Hendrix's Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I did read this, so yay me, and absolutely loved it. This one follows a group of young teenage mothers or soon-to-be mothers that are sent to a home for unwed moms in Florida in the 1970s because nobody wants to deal with the fact that they're pregnant and not married, and it sort of follows them, their foray into witchcraft and trying to sort of take back control of their life. I love this book. I'm not going to go into the review right now because that's just going to take me forever, and that's not what we're doing here. Then I have A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. I keep buying Adrienne Young books, even though I don't know if I like her as an author, but I keep wanting to, and this one is about a young woman whose twin brother passes away. She goes back to the hometown to sort of investigate whether or not this was actually an accident, and it sort of talks about grief and sibling connection and all of that. I did read this one as well, so, doing good on reading the ones that I bought intentionally to read. Then we have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I'm currently reading it, so I'm still counting that in my brain. I kept putting it off, but I'm gonna hopefully finish it in February before the end of the month. I do only have 4 days left in the month though, but hopefully. I don't even know how to explain this. This is a high fantasy series. It's the beginning of the Cosmere. It's where a lot of people suggest starting. That was one of my 2025 goals, so of course I needed to buy the book in order to read through the Cosmere. Then I got Onyx Storm, like everybody else, and I did read this. This is the 3rd book in the Fourth Wing Empyrean series. Then I got House of Roots and Ruin. I've already read this. I read this last year, but I think I listened to the audiobook and I wanted the physical copy, so that one isn't added to my TBR at all either. Then I got Bad Blood and All In, which is the 3rd and 4th book respectively for the Natural series. I did read both of those, so I think I did pretty good reading the ones that are in that stack that I bought specifically to be read. Then I have one that I didn't know where to put it, so I put it with my grouping of books that were sent to me that I didn't buy, and that's Tender as the Flesh. I was actually unhauling some books yesterday in Little Free Libraries and I found this. This is on my 25 to read in 2025. So of course I had to pick it up if it was in the Little Free Library, like, so yay for that. That was pretty excited. I was pretty pumped about that find. Then we have The Last Star. These are now the books that were sent to me. This one I have actually read and I owned a hardback copy of it, but all my other books in the series are paperback, so I put the paperback on my wish list because I'm obsessive and I need them all to match. Then we have The Midnight Library. I don't really know much about this. I put it on my wish list because so many people were really raving about it at one point, and yeah, that's all I know for that one. Then I have The Bridge Kingdom. This edition actually I need to send back to Amazon because like the front page is completely torn. I don't know if you can see that or not. Like completely ripped. So that's getting sent back and replaced, but somebody did send it to me. And I'm so grateful because I've heard incredible things about this when it was an indie book and then it got traditionally published, and I'm really excited. It's like an entire series. I know it's a fantasy series. That's all I know. And that's all I kind of want to know for this one, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm not even gonna look at the back of that. Then we have Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. I heard mixed reviews about this one when it first came out. It's about this girl that gets the opportunity to study abroad in London. While she's there, she meets her roommate. She's rooming with somebody else, and oh, actually, all of the roommates. Sorry, that was my stove. All of the roommates are boys, apparently, but there's a rule against fraternizing between housemates. So she's lying to her father about her living situation, falling for not one but two men that she can't have. Because one is a roommate and one has a girlfriend. And that's where I heard that people had some like mixed reviews about it, the fact that the one guy had a girlfriend. So fair enough, we will see sort of what my opinion is on that. Then I was sent Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I haven't read any of her STEM romances. I'm not sure which one this is. They kind of all seem to mix together in my brain because I've heard synopses of all of them. Hopefully I'm going to get to these this year. Like, that's a goal. Then we have From Storm and Shadow. This was, I think this is an indie book. Yeah, it's an indie author, and it's a fantasy. It says that when Silver's parents are murdered in front of her by the people she's trusted for years, she flees to Faerun and begins a new life pretending to be human. More than 2 years later, she's believed that she's finally safe until the night someone from the guild shows up. Ash is the boy who once was her best friend, and he's the boy who tried to kill her. He's on the run now as well, after discovering the same secret that led to Silver's parents' death. Or so he says. The forest they grew up in has become a dangerous place, crawling with Fae monsters, and Ash claims he needs Silver's help. The discovery her parents had made years ago could be the only thing to save their home. Silver knows Ash is only using her. He's a guardian after all, and they're the ones who took everything from her, but she can't turn her back on the home she still loves. And so she forms a fragile truce with the boy who broke her heart. Stepping back into the world she swore never to return to, she sets out on a dangerous path to unlock the secrets of the past. So that one sounds fun. I love trying to support indie authors and get their books, and the cover is beautiful. So like, had to get that. Then we have Heartburns by Colleen Hoover. I'm not going to dwell on that because like she just always stirs up controversy, but I was very graciously sent that as well. And then moving into the next category, we have some of my Illumicrate and Fairy Loot books. I don't even have my ones from February yet. I don't know where they are. My January ones for Fairy Loot didn't even get here till midway through February, so we're just doing this without them because I didn't feel like waiting anymore, honestly. So this is an Illumicrate book and it's called Watermoon, and it is just a stunning cover. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the naked hardback on this one. Like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I know nothing about that book. I know nothing about that book. I know nothing about any of the ones that I get sent in my subscription boxes. So here's my Fairy Loot one. This is called Immortal, another absolutely beautiful book. This one has a more simplistic naked hardback, but I do appreciate that sometimes. And then we have Cruel as the Light. This was also my Fairy Loot box. I get the young adult and adult subscription boxes. This one, I have seen a lot of people posting about since getting it and how everybody's extremely excited about it, which makes me even more excited about it, but I still don't know anything about it other than that it's fantasy. So, and then finally getting into the books that I bought myself that I know darn well I'm not getting to probably anytime soon, or at the very least not in the month or two that I bought them. So first up we have The Grimrose Girls. I would see this all the time when I was at Barnes & Noble, and I just Never ended up buying it, and this time I was like, you know what, I really want to get this book. And the back says 4 friends, 1 murder, and a dark fate that may leave them all doomed. After the mysterious death of their best friend, the girls are the talk of the school, which is Grimrose Academy, so a little bit of a dark academia vibes. The police ruled their friend's death as a suicide, but the trio is determined to find out what really happened. When a new girl arises, their newest roommate, it sets in motion a series of events that no one could have predicted. As the girls retrace their friend's final day, they discover a dark secret about Grimrose, that their friend is not the first dead girl. They soon learn that all the past murders are connected to ancient fairy tale curses, and that their own fates are tied to the stories, dooming the girls to brutal and gruesome endings unless they can break the cycle for good. Like, come on. Seriously, fate that is attached to old fairy tales that is slowly killing the girls in this prestigious boarding school? What a concept. I love that concept so much. Like, the cover is what drew me in, and then I read the back and I was like, oh, okay, I don't know why I've been putting this off for so long. So yeah, that was picked up. My most recent one that I picked up is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. All I know is that this is a cowboy romance, and that everybody loves this series, that loves Elsie Silver. I love Elsie Silver. I needed something new, so figured I would give this a chance. All I know, oh, it's a small town brother's best friend romance that says that she's off limits, but he's never been good at following the rules. So I'm fine, I'm content just knowing that much about it. Then I picked up Apprentice to the Villain, finally, because they got rid of the sprayed edges. I know that sounds ridiculous, but my first book doesn't have sprayed edges, therefore this book can't have sprayed edges. Plus it's just the plain color, it's nothing special, so like, I didn't care. Anyway, moving on. This is the second book to the Assistant to the Villain series. I heard mixed things about this after the first one, but I happen to adore the first one. It was such a cute, cozy fantasy, and it has a little frog that sits in the corner with a little sign that says like, oops, or like different commentary, and he was just funny. I loved that. I loved the characters in this and the way that she's just so sweet and happy and bubbly, and the villain is just like not. Of course, he's a villain. So really excited to see the way that this book goes. And then of course, I think the third one is coming out at the end of this year. So I would love to get to that at some point. Then we have The Starless Crown. I was drawn in by the cover because it's stunning. And I had seen this at Barnes & Noble a few times, not as many times as Grimrose Girls. But I eventually needed to pick this up. And I think it's a high fantasy because it's in like the adult fantasy section. And it says, who will claim the Starless Crown? A gifted student foretells an apocalypse. Her reward is a sentence of death. Fleeing into the unknown, she's drawn into a team of outcasts. A broken soldier who once again takes up his weapons that he's forbidden to yield and carves a trail back home. A drunken prince who steps out from his beloved brother's shadow and claims a purpose of his own. An imprisoned thief who escapes the crushing dark and discovers a gleaming artifact, one that will ignite a power struggle across the globe. On the run, hunted by enemies old and new, they must learn to trust each other in order to survive in a world evolved in strange, beautiful, and deadly ways, and uncover ancient secrets that hold the key to their salvation. But with each passing moment, doom draws closer. It just sounds, I don't even know what this is giving. Like, it's giving heist vibes, kind of, because of like all the different characters that are coming together to try and solve this conundrum or claim this crown. I don't even know. I don't know, but there was something about it that even once I read the back of it, I was like, I need to get this. So we got it. And then lastly, for the books that I bought myself, I had to think through that for a second. We have January's by Olivia Blake. I had never seen this one, but it looks like it's a collection of short stories. Yeah, they're iconic fan favorite stories and entirely original pieces. It features modified fairy tales, contemporary heists, absurdist poetry, and at least one set of actual wedding vows. It just, I don't know, like, it sounds fun. I fell in love with Olivia Blake's writing last year when I read, I can picture the book. What was the name of that book? One for My Enemy. I read that, I think last year, or maybe that was January, I don't even remember anymore, but I loved it. I loved her writing style and how lyrical it was, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, this just sounds really good. Like, I really want this. So, we bought this. I did actually lie, there was one more book that I just bought yesterday. Oops. But technically, I've read it already. I don't have the physical copy here, which is why I'm not showing it to you guys, but it's the second book in the Windy City series. So it's Mile High, The Right Move. It's The Right Move because I heard that the Skyline paperback editions, like the indie covers, are going to go out of print. And I heard that the last one that's releasing later this year is only doing one standard print run that's going to match all of the indie covers, and then that's done and it's getting put out as like the deluxe edition covers that the whole series is being revamped into. So I was like, well, I need them all to match. I love the Skyline covers, so we need to start slowly buying those. So I pre-ordered the standard one for the end of the year and then bought the second one a while. So that's your warning. If you don't have all of those and you want all of those, or you're unaware that the final one is only getting one print run for the covers that will match the indie covers, now you're warned. You're welcome. So those are all of the books that I got in January and February. Let us see how many we have in this stack. I think I already know the answer, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 in this stack of books that I know darn well I'm not getting to. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm content with that. Yeah, there's a lot in this stack that were sent to me, or that's like my subscription boxes that are also adding my physical TBR, but like, we're not looking at that because that's my loophole that I should probably reevaluate at some point, but that's okay. If there are any books in these stacks that you think that I should prioritize on my TBR soon, let me know. I'm really excited to start picking my TBRs because I made a TBR jar with some prompts. I did a whole video on that if you guys want to check that out as well. And yeah, I'm really excited to start picking my March TBR. I might have to do that within the next day or two now that I can add these to my TBR collection. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you hopefully again in another video very soon. Bye!